Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lie down on your mat, heels down to the bottom corners of your mat, and then just ease yourself down and have your arms a little bit away from your side body, about 30 or 45 degrees away from your side body. And we're going to draw our focus to our breathing. So let's think about our lungs, visualize our lungs in the top part of our body. When you breathe in, think about expanding into the space available in your lungs, like each one is a balloon. And then as you breathe out, you're going to just let that air compress slowly out of your lungs. So with each breath cycle, we're going to gradually expand more and more into that lung space. So this is what we refer to as centering. As we set ourselves up for a practice, just kind of draw our gaze inward. If you feel a little bit tired today, then you might want to have your palms up and think about receiving energy from around you. If you're feeling a little bit of angst, or you feel like you need to just calm yourself down, for sure put your palms down to the ground. Or the other way you can ground is left hand over your heart, right hand over your solar plexus. And this gives you a nice tactile feedback on your front body. When you breathe in, everything floats upward, and when you breathe out, everything kind of floats downward. So that's really nice to have that tactile feedback. And your body is connected to the ground, so still counts as grounding. So with your eyes closed, pay closer attention to how long it takes you to breathe in terms of seconds, and how long it takes you to breathe out. And then gradually over the next several breath cycles, I'd like you to try and extend the duration of your exhale. And this is a really key part of your breath work. So when we talk about mindful breathing, or in Sanskrit it is called pranayama, this mindful breathing is key in helping us to calm and regulate our nervous system, which will then also help to quiet the mind and the body. So continuing with your mindful breathing, your pranayama, let's remind ourselves to let go of competition, to let go of comparison, and let go of judgment. Let's be grateful for what our bodies allow us to do today, from one moment to the next, doing our best to be present throughout our practice. So the breath is also a good focal point for us in helping us to stay present throughout our practice. It is also a conduit for helping us link and connect our mind, body, and spirit. So continuing with your pranayama, let's add some movement in with the breath. So if your hands were on your body, take them out to the side body with the palms up. As you breathe in, open up your hands. As you breathe out, let the hands relax. So the fingers will just curl back in and come into their natural relaxed position. As you breathe in, open your hands. And as you breathe out, let the fingers just soften and relax in their curled position. So continue with that. Breathe in, open the hands, and then this time start to not only just curl the fingers, but bend at the elbows, and then bring your fingertips in close to the tops of your shoulder, to the front of your shoulders. And then when you breathe in, it's like you're rolling out a carpet from up your arms are the carpet. So open up your arms and your hands. And then when you breathe out, close your hands softly and bring those hands in close bend at the elbows. So just a couple more like that, just moving gently through the arms, just finding the range of motion into arm extension, and then wrist and elbow flexion. And then one more breath in, and then just keep your arms out to the side here and let your hands just relax onto the floor. Arms and hands relax onto the floor. So we'll do something similar with our ankles and our feet. When you breathe in, pull your toes up towards you, so you'll feel the muscles in the front of your lower leg engage. And then as you breathe out, just let your ankles soften and just point your toes slightly. So coming into ankle extension. Breathe in to ankle flexion. And breathe out to ankle extension. Again, nice deep breath in through your nose. And then as you exhale, you can breathe out through your nose or out through your mouth. So as we progress into deeper, fuller breathing and become really well connected with our breath, you can transition to that Ujjayi breath, where on the exhale, you think about fogging the mirror with your breath out, or think about blowing candles out. So another one, nice deep breath in, pull the toes up, flex into the ankle joint, and then as you exhale, just softly point the toes, coming into gentle ankle extension, and then just let your ankles and feet soften and relax. So go ahead and bend your knees and place your feet on the mat. You might just want to pick your hips up and tilt your tailbone up slightward. So we're coming into slight posterior pelvic tilt, getting a little bit more of the back in contact with the mat so it feels more supported. So we're going to gently transition into our windshield wipers. You want to flip your hands over so the palms are connected to the ground. Deep breath in with the knees facing up to the ceiling, and then as you exhale, let both knees come down towards the right, slowly, gently. Pay attention to how your hips and your thigh muscles feel when you do this. When you're ready to breathe in, bring those knees to face up towards the ceiling again. And then as you exhale, tip them over towards the left. And again, just pay attention to any sensations or feelings that come up in the body as you move slowly, gently into this windshield wiper. So once you are confident that you don't have any areas that are experiencing pain with this movement, you can start to move a little bit more smoothly. Stay coordinated with a breath in as the knees come up and a breath out as the knees go down. And then if it's available to you, also mobilize the neck. So if the legs go down to the left, then turn and look to the right. And then as the knees go down to the right, turn and look to the left. So again, same kind of mindful connection with your body. If anything comes up in the neck that resembles pain, then don't do the neck movement. Don't move your head. Just keep your head in one place, comfortable, and just focus on the windshield wiper movement in the lower body. We are bringing in some more range of motion into the hip joints themselves. When we move from left to right, we're going into internal and external rotation in the hip joint itself. We are creating length in the hamstrings and outer thighs and inner thigh muscles. Feel how you're rolling across the glutes to the outside of your hips. So a little bit of self-massage and tactile feedback for your glutes. Just feeling how those muscles are today as we move from one side to the other. Be aware and feel the bottoms of your feet. So as you move from one side to the other, feel the bottoms of your feet come into contact with the floor and the outer and inner edges of your feet. Okay? You can dial back the range of motion at any time if you're experiencing great challenge in muscles or joints. Just adjust your range of motion. Anytime you need to take a break, take a break. So one more each side. If you're moving your neck, that's great. If it's feeling a little bit more mobile, excellent. And then just bring the knees to face up towards the ceiling. Fix your gaze towards the ceiling. Next, we're going to just do some gentle spinal flexion and extension, or coming back into neutral on the mat. So when you breathe in, we're going to slowly curl, start picking the head up slowly, and just moving the chin towards the chest, and then see if we can also pick up our upper body just to about the bottoms of our shoulder blades. And then as we exhale, we're going to release the upper body back down gently and the back of the head. So inhaling into C and T spine flexion, looking at your thighs, tucking your chin down towards your chest. And then on the exhale, releasing one vertebrae at a time back down towards the mat. And just pay attention to what's happening in your core when you come up. If you get that feeling in your core similar to when you're laughing or coughing, your ab muscles engage, and they're still on to help your upper body down slowly. All right, so now extend your legs, just let your head relax down on the mat. And we're gonna reach those arms up overhead. So if you're having tightness in your shoulders today and straight up and down isn't available for your arms, just widen out to like a shape, a Y shape with your upper body, make a letter Y, or you can even come into T if that's much better for your shoulders. If your full range of motion is available, then I want you to think about resembling the letter I as you breathe in. Think about making yourself as tall and long as possible. And then as you breathe out, I want you to just bring one leg in towards your body. And if you can, peel your head and shoulders up as well. And then release everything down. Breathe in, make yourself as long and tall as possible. Stretch, stretch. Similar to how some people, when they get up in the morning, they have this big stretch. So when you're waking up, and then as you exhale, bring the left leg in this time. See if you can peel your head and shoulders up off the mat. So if the head and shoulders are not comfortable to come off the mat, then just leave the head down and work the lower body only. So again, nice deep breath in, lengthen, stretch. See if you can add a few millimeters. And then think about fogging the mirror as you breathe out. Head and shoulders can come up or not. And then breathe in. And breathe out. Good, release. So let's put the bottoms of our feet together now and come into our lying cobbler or lying butterfly. So this is also a nice way to just gradually get into our hip joints. So if you find your hip joints are especially tight, not really loving this for your hips, what you could do instead is go back to windshield wipers and just keep moving through it. If you want to try this lying cobbler, bottoms of the feet together, and then just think about letting gravity and the weight of your legs allow for your knees to just melt down closer towards the floor. If you're feeling great resistance and tightness in your hips and you're struggling to let your knees stay in this position, maybe just quickly grab some cushions and put them underneath the outsides of your legs so that you have support for your legs, and then you don't have to struggle to hold them up or push them down. You should be able to just relax in this position. So that's why we like props for some poses. It's nice to have blocks or cushions or bolsters. You know, to just use what you have available, or change into windshield wipers where you're constantly moving and just continuing to open up through your hips that way. Let's take another nice deep cleansing breath in through the nose. Think about expanding your body in as many directions as possible with that breath in. And then when you breathe out, fog the mirror with your breath out. And think about just releasing through the hips so the knees can just melt down a little bit more. Good. Breathe in and bring your knees together. And then place your feet about hip distance apart. And we're going to transition into the hip bridge. So this is a great core activator for the front and the back of your core. You're going to connect your hands to the floor again. So arms and hands are about 30 to 45 degrees away from the side body. When you pick your hips up and drive the top of the hips up to the ceiling, I also want you to think about driving down firmly into the floor through your hands and your feet. So start with a deep cleansing breath in through your nose. Expand and open up into your body as much as you can with this breath in. And then when you're ready to breathe out. Send the top of your hips up towards the ceiling. Engage in your abs like you're laughing hard, and engage your pelvic floor like you're trying to hold your bladder, and squeeze your glutes in and up, pushing down into the floor firmly through your hands and feet. As you breathe in, gently float the back and the hips down towards the mat. So that's a big core activator, and you might feel some pressure or a strain in your, not pressure, but just challenge in your back muscles. So if that happens, a nice way to take a break is just to hug your legs in and just gently rock from side to side, gently massage out your back. And then when you're ready, see if you can do a couple more of these hip bridges. So deep cleansing breath in. And then on the exhale, fog the mirror with your breath out, get the hips up, drive down into the floor, press all the air out. Think about your ab engagement, your pelvic floor engagement, and your glute engagement. And as you breathe in, float the back and the hips down again. So let's see if we can do two more. Nice deep cleansing breath in through the nose. Open up into as many directions as you can with that inhale. And then on the exhale, press out every last bit of air. Sometimes it can even make you cough, but I just want you to really engage into your abs as deeply and completely as possible. Let's try one more. Nice deep cleansing breath in through the nose. And lift up and hold. Squeeze, press that last bit of air out, and release the hips down. So let's come into that gentle compression. Bring your legs in towards your body. Gently rock from side to side. So if the knees are tight and you don't have a lot of bend available in the knees, just do what I'm doing. Just hang on to the back of your upper legs and gently rock from side to side. If your knees are feeling pretty good today, then hold from over top your shins. Maybe grab onto a wrist and really hug those legs in tight and rock side to side. So rocking is a self-soothing motion. So that in combination with mindful breathing can really help to calm and regulate your nervous system quickly. And it's a nice way to reset also. So deep cleansing breath in through the nose, and think about fogging the mirror as you breathe out. So bring the rocking to still. We're going to come up to seated position. So tip your body over to one side, let the upper body follow. You can pause briefly, just get your bearings, and then help yourself up into that seated position. Grab a quick drink. This is a good time to have 2-3 sips of water. So in easy sit, cross-legged position, or any position, seated position that allows you to maintain a nice tall spine. So I'm just going to turn sideways. So if cross-legged is not comfortable because your knees are up and you end up more like this, then maybe consider one leg out and one knee bent, and really try and sit up nice and tall. The other thing that could help you sit more tall is to sit on a bolster, sit on a cushion. When the hips are elevated higher than the knees, it allows the knees more room to just kind of come down closer to the floor, and it doesn't compromise the position of the spine. The other option is to sit in a chair, and that towards the edge of the chair, and not just rely on the back of the chair to keep your spine tall. You want to use your core muscles to help stay tall. Sorry. Excuse me. Okay, so from this nice tall position, gaze forward. Nice deep cleansing breath in through the nose, and then as you exhale, gently, slowly turn and look to the right. So see if you can think about lining your chin up over your right shoulder. Then as you breathe in, gaze forward, sit up nice and tall, pull it up. And then as you exhale, turn and look to the left. So the chin might not line up over your shoulder. Just think about that as your goal though, when you turn and look. So depending on how tight your neck muscles are, if you have any neck issues that limit your range of motion, old injuries or something, then just be mindful of that. And if any part of this causes you pain, then don't do it. even if you just look. So straightforward is 12 o'clock. If you just glance to 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or 12 o'clock, great. If you can think about more, 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, excellent. But again, just stay in this moment. Do your best to be present in this practice, in what we're doing right now, and just go with it. So stay here with your gaze forward, and then we're going to tilt the head to the side. So we're going to think about dropping the left ear over the left shoulder, the right ear over the right shoulder. I want you to really be mindful of keeping your gaze forward. So nice deep breath in, sitting up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, let your right ear come down over your right shoulder. So imagine that I placed a grapefruit at the side of your neck here, and I just want you to tip your ear over and then just hold on to that grapefruit, and then pay attention to what's happening in the left side of your neck. Do you feel stretch? And if you can squeeze into this imaginary grapefruit a little bit more, see if that stretch extends for you into your traps, or see if you feel it going up. Maybe you feel it more towards the back of the ear, or maybe even in front of the ear. And then just bring it back to center. Good, so nice deep cleansing breath in again, and then we're going to the other side. So let the shoulders melt far away from the bottoms of the ears here. And then let your left ear come down over your left shoulder. So again, imagine I placed a grapefruit there, and I'm asking you to gently squeeze into this grapefruit. So a little bit more tilt over, and feel what's happening in the right side of your neck. Breathe into those tight spots. So you can try and visualize your breath in being directed to the areas where you feel tightness and resistance, as if you're trying to blow them up and create space. And then when you breathe out, try and visualize that tightness and tension leaving your body through your breath out. Good. Then just when you're ready, bring your gaze back up. Good. So we're going to do that again, and we're going to add a little bit something different here. So nice deep breath in. Then as you exhale, slowly again tip your head over onto that grapefruit, right ear to right shoulder. So now, not only are you going to squeeze into this grapefruit, but you're going to try and change the angle. So you're going to just turn your gaze downwards towards your right shoulder and tilt your chin down towards the right collarbone. So now just pay attention to what happened to the stretch in the left side of your neck. See if you can tip over just a little bit more while your chin is tucked or is angled down and over. Good, and then slowly reset back to gaze forward. So before we go to the other side, let's just breathe here. Take a deep cleansing breath in through your nose. Think about expanding into your body in as many directions as you can with this deep breath in. And as you breathe out, think about fogging the mirror with your breath out. Press it out slowly with control. Good, let's take a nice deep cleansing breath in, and then we're going to tip the left ear over top the left shoulder. Think about that grapefruit. It's got a little bit of give, so you can kind of imagine sinking your head into it and feeling it kind of squish down a bit. And then you're going to tilt your head, so tilt your chin down a bit towards the left collarbone and look at your left shoulder out of the corners of your eyes. So you're still maintaining a really nice tall position here. We haven't released our spine. We're still sitting up nice and tall, which will allow us to have more stretch here. So if you have a lot of tight areas in the side of your neck, go to your breathing. Think about inhaling towards the spots where you feel tension, tightness. See if you can create space using your breath in. And then when you breathe out, think about that tension and tightness leaving that area of your body through your breath out. Good. This time you're going to gently roll your head downwards. Just think about bringing your chin closer to your chest without really touching your chest. So now we've switched to an orange. We got rid of the grapefruit and we're thinking about an orange between the space of our chin and the top of our collarbone in the middle. Okay, so now I'm asking you to imagine that you're holding an orange in this space. Pay attention to what you're feeling in the back of your neck now. And as you let your shoulders melt down and away further from your ears, see if you can detect more sensation of release and stretch in your traps as well. So breathe into those tight spots. Breathe in through your nose. Think about creating space with that breath in. And then as you exhale, slowly start to pick the head up one vertebrae at a time until your gaze is forward again. Good. So next, let's transition to hands and knees for cow-cat. We're going to articulate through the spine, moving through extension and flexion. So again, if you need a couple of sips of water, grab it. 2-3 sips of water. So I'm going to give you a combination move. You're going to have your hands under your shoulders in a way that your wrist joints are directly underneath your shoulder joints. Spread your fingers out. Then I would like you to have your knee joints under your hip joints. And if you can see yourself in your screen or in, that your back would be flat in this position. So you're in what we call a flat back or neutral spine. I'm just going to tuck this in because it's hanging down. Reposition here. Okay, so when we breathe in, just think about releasing the front body down towards the mat, lifting the tailbone, lifting the chin slightly to fix your gaze past the top of your mat. And then as you exhale, scoop the belly, pick the back of the spine up and send it up towards the ceiling, tuck the tailbone under, and bring the chin in towards the chest, not necessarily touching the chest, but just create lots of space between your shoulder blades and between your vertebra. And just go back between those two, spinal extension and flexion. So breathing into your cow, push the floor away and retract your shoulder blades and set them down a bit. So de-shrug your shoulders so you can get into that cow. See if you can fix your gaze a little bit more forward this time. And then when you breathe out, scoop the belly, pick the back of the spine up, tuck the tailbone under, chin into chest. Good. And then come back to neutral or flat back. So then I want you to try it with your toes tucked under. So you'll feel a little bit of stretch, especially in the ball joints of your toes when you tuck your toes under, still maintaining knees under hips and wrists under shoulders. Spread your fingers out. So let's go into that cow-cat again with toes tucked. Breathe in, sink the belly, lift the tailbone, push the floor away, de-shrug the shoulders, fix your gaze a little bit more forward. And then when you're ready to exhale, scoop, tuck tailbone, draw chin towards chest, look at your thighs, think about what a mad cat looks like, and then come back to flat back. Good. So from here, I'm going to get you to start to walk your knees out towards the outer edges of the mat and put your feet close together towards each other, or you can stack your one big toe over top the other and sit back into this wide knee child's pose. So the feet are close together. You're getting more opening through the hips in this particular child's pose. You can use your hands to gently press your hips back. And if you need a break, when you breathe in, just come forward a bit to give your hips and knees a little break. If you're good with staying down there, then just see if you can use your breath to help create some release where it needs, where you need it. And see if you can guide your forehead down towards the mat. So here you could use props also. So if your hips and knees are tight, you can have a block or blocks here to rest your forehead on. You can stack your fists to rest your forehead on here. You can put cushions underneath your hips so that if your hips don't come down to your heels, you have something to land on in between there, whether it be a pillow or a block or a cushion, throw cushion or something. Okay, and like I said, on your breath in, if you need a release, then just come up for a bit, give your hips, knees a break. And if you're enjoying the melt, enjoy the melt for a couple more breaths in and out. Deep cleansing, breath in through the nose, and think about fogging the mirror with your breath out. And again, nice deep breath in. Think about expanding or stretching the fabric of your top with your breath in when you breathe in, and then when you breathe out, just everything kind of sinks down towards the floor. Think about sending your armpit down towards the floor, and then come back to that hands and knees position, and let's come back to easy sit. Easy sit here. So I'm going to give you some choices here. If you're comfortable in the seated position, we're going to work side stretch in the seated position. So you'll breathe in here and breathe out and reach up and over. So we're trying to create length in the side of our body. So think about creating space between the ribs and those intercostal muscles. Breathing in when you come into the center, and then breathing out as you lean over. So if for some reason it's not working and you feel like you're really having to tip over to do that, just simply stand up. So this is your other option, is to stand up, have your feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, and you might find that this is a more stable position. You can breathe in and breathe out, and then you can think about sliding the fingers down towards the side of the knee on that side. And this is nice because you can get even down into the hip and the outside of the thigh. So maybe try a couple down on the floor, and then when you're ready, come up and come into the side stretch here. So if you lean over to the right, also think about sending your left hip towards the left wall and make a really nice curved shape with the body. And then breathe in, come up to standing upright tall, and then exhale the other side, send the right hip to the right wall, really reach up and over. Imagine that somebody's standing there grabbing your wrist, pulling up and over. Sometimes what I even do is do that for myself. So I'll take a nice deep breath in, I'll reach up and over, and then I'll hold on to this wrist and pull it up and over. And then I just got so much more stretch into the side body. Nice deep breath in, and fog the mirror with your breath out, stretch, pull, and release. Good. So next we're coming into T-spine twist. So I'll stand sideways. We're going to have our feet hip distance apart in Tadasana. So whether you have socks on or you're barefoot, when you stand in Tadasana, feet hip distance apart, and then think about spreading your toes out like you would your fingers, okay? Even if you have socks on. I have them on today because a little bit chilly. But also barefoot is more grip onto your mat. Sorry, excuse me. Grab 2-3 sips of water. And then T-spine rotation. So you're going to extend your arms at or just below shoulder level, palms together, and shoulders back and down. So think about reaching up and out through the top of your head, standing nice and firm and tall. So deep cleansing breath in here, and then on the exhale, you're going to windmill this right arm back and around. See if you can send it towards the left back corner of your room. Follow that hand with your eyes. When you breathe in, bring it back to where you started, palms together in front. So that one arm stays where it is. When you breathe in, fill the body up, expand in as many directions as you can, and then exhale, twist, turn. Follow that hand with your eye. Keep the other arm shooting straight forward in front of you, and come back. So you're going to do a few of these. Pay attention with each rotation, probably getting a few more millimeters of range of motion with each cycle. Breathe in. So I do want you to kind of challenge your body into a little bit more twist with each cycle. Okay, not to the point where you can't keep control of your breath, or not to the point where you feel pain. So nice deep cleansing breath in through the nose. And then as you exhale, fog the mirror with your breath out. Add a little bit more range of motion and then bring it back. So just bring the arms down, kind of swing them back and forth. Move through those arms and shoulders. Grab some more water if you need. And then let's go into it again. Extend those arms out in front. Nice deep cleansing breath in. And windmill around. Oh, that side. One side, it's common for one side to open up a lot more than the other one. Nice deep breath in. And then for some, the difference might be very subtle. Like it might seem same on each side. But I know for me on my left side, I feel lots of challenge going with my left arm because I previously dislocated that shoulder. So that's always takes a little longer on the left side to open up. But it does open up. So that's why it's good to do this. And bring it in. Good. And again, just kind of gently swing. Just walk back along your mat while swinging your arms, and then just walk forward. Come back to your breath and come back to Tadasana at the top of your mat or wherever you are on your mat actually, because we're just going to work a standing spinal roll down and roll up. So remember at the beginning, we were lying on our back with just peeling our head and shoulders up into the C-spine and T-spine flexion. So we're going to go bigger here. We're going to go through the whole spine coming down towards the floor. So just start with a deep cleansing breath in here. And then as you exhale, just draw your chin towards your chest, not too tight. And think about that orange that you're holding in between your chin and your chest. So we're getting flexion in the vertebra and the neck. And then as we come down a little bit more, we're coming into the thoracic spine. And then we're going to keep coming down and eventually get into the L spine. And we let the head hang heavy and let the arms hang heavy. So think about having the top of your head facing down towards the floor and the arms are just hanging heavy. So if you want something to do with your hands and your arms, you can just cradle your elbows with your hands. Might give you a bit more room to hang down or might feel better to hang down. You can always put a bit of softness in your knees if you're finding a lot of strain, too much stretch sensation in the back of your legs. Just soften your knees. Okay, so breathe in, use that breath in. Direct it to the areas where you're feeling you need to create space. And then as you exhale, see if you can just release your upper body down a little bit more. So think about letting go. Try not to hold on to tension and tightness so that your upper body can just melt down a little closer towards the floor. So now take a deep cleansing breath into your back body. Think about opening up your back with that breath in. And then as you exhale, pull the belly button in and you strengthen your abs to bring yourself up in reverse, one vertebra at a time. Coming up through the L spine, and then think about the vertebra stacking one on top of the other, holding onto that orange between your chin and your chest. So the head will be the last thing to come up. Stacking the spine, and then the gaze goes forward, and then your shoulder blades can slide up, back, and down, and then just roll through your shoulders a little bit here. So again, if you need some more water, take it, get it. Then we're going to do another spinal roll down here. So starting with a deep cleansing breath in through your nose. Open up into the body as much as you can with that breath in. And then as you exhale, wrap around that orange between your chin and your chest and continue to roll yourself down. So scooping the belly a little bit, feeling space coming into the vertebrae in your T-spine, letting down slowly with control, and then just eventually letting everything hang heavy.
And at this point, you can just gently sway from side to side, or if you like the gentle bounce, you can twist. So you can bring your hands around to the outside of the left foot and then bring your hands around to the outside of the right foot and bring it back to center. So let's prepare to come up. Bring it to still. Deep cleansing breath into the back body. And as you exhale, pull the belly button in and you strengthen your abs to bring yourself up slowly with control from the bottom to the top. Think about the orange in between your chin and your chest. And then you're going to stack your spine. Once your gaze comes back forward, then let the shoulder blades move up, back, and down. Good. And then just slowly flex through the knees. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Moving through the shoulder joints. Inhale, exhale, letting the head turn a little bit. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good. 2-3 steps. Coming to a single leg standing balance. So if you have a ledge or you want to hold on to the edge of the chair for support, or you just want support, what you're going to be doing is you're going to inhale, and then on the exhale, you're going to straighten your leg. You're going to inhale and let it down. So I'll turn sideways to show you as well. So your arms could be out in front or out to the side for balance. You're going to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And it doesn't have to come up high. And for this one, I would suggest that you move onto a really flat surface. So if your yoga mat is firm and not very thick, that's fine. And then you have something to grip into, right? If you're on a carpeted area, it's probably okay, but maybe feels a little less stable. So then, say for instance, I have a bar right here I could hang on to. So inhale, exhale. It doesn't have to come up as high. So it could be like 45, 30 degrees even. And then inhale, exhale. So you can start with a really small movement and then go to the other side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So if it's better for you, you can do one, alternate sides, or you could do about 4 on one side and then switch to the other side, just so that you give each side a chance to hold your body weight on that one side, right? So after you've done that, then just pause in Tadasana. You want to do about 3 or 4 single leg standing balance with the knee extension. And then come back to mountain or Tadasana. So feet hip distance apart, shoulders back and down. And then draw your attention back to your breath. So deep cleansing breath in through the nose. And out. In. And out. So while you're breathing, I want you to just draw your attention to the bottoms of your feet. So you can feel the big toe ball joint pressing firmly into your mat or your floor. Then feel your pinky toe ball joint also pressing down into the floor of the mat. And instead of just the center of the heel, think of the outside edges of your heel also imprinting into the mat, and then all your toes imprinting into the mat. And then try and engage the muscles in the top of your foot to lift, and think about create space where your arch is. So I want you to just be very aware of how your weight is distributed across the bottoms of your feet at this time. And then I want you to draw your focus back to your breath. Think about your deep cleansing breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. So once you've got a sense of how your weight is distributed across your feet, you are connected with your breath. then I would encourage you to remove your sense of sight. Just close your eyes and see how that changes things for you. Are you starting to teeter? Are you wobbling? Are you firm? Are you still aware of your spatial orientation in your space? And then open your eyes. So next, what I want you to do is just lift your right heel so that you're coming up onto your toes. So now you have a partial point of contact. It's not your full foot in contact, part of your foot and the full foot on the other side. So again, feel how your weight is distributed across those points of contact. Can you even it out? And then when you're ready, try to close your eyes and see how that changes things with a little bit less surface area for a point of contact on that one side. Is it very different, slightly different? Is it the same? What do you notice? Can you feel your toes connected to the mat? Can you feel your ball joints of your toes connected to the mat? And then open your eyes. Good. Then release that heel down. If you need to just shake your legs out and grab a drink, do that. So I want you to do the same thing on the other side. So if you're on a really cushiony mat, it's probably going to feel more firm, supported on a flat floor. So you're going to lift your left heel this time. So you have still 2 points of contact, but on the left side it's partial. Come into connection with how your weight is distributed across the bottoms of your feet or part of that one foot. Breathe, connect with your breath so you're aware of this deep cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then when you're ready, make sure that you feel your pinky toe as well. Okay? Then when you're ready, close your eyes. Breathe through it. Are you starting to sink in one hip, or are your hips staying even? Is your knee staying straight? Are you feeling more wobbly, less wobbly? Can you get it? Can you get it back to a really solid feeling if you're wobbling? Can you engage your core like you're about to cough or laugh? Does that help you stay a little bit more firm in your stance? Go ahead and open your eyes and release your heel back down to the floor. Good. We're going to come down to the floor and do a little bit more pelvic floor work before we close our practice. So 2-3 sips of water. Before we come down, let's just go into an assisted back bend. So what you're going to do is place your palms at the low back, or make a fist and place the flat part of your fist at your low back where your SI joints would be. Where those indents in your low back are, that's where you want to place the meaty part of your palm or the flat part of your fist. Then you're going to breathe in and try and get your elbows in close to each other and open up through the front body and fix your gaze upward. And then as you exhale, just come back to a nice tall Tadasana. So let's try that again. Fists or palms into the low part of your back. And inhale, open, lift your chin a little bit, send your elbows in towards each other, peel your shoulders back and down, and then release. Okay, now let's come down. So we're going to come down onto our back. And we're just going to be doing a Kegel, where we're just going to think about really slowly, gradually contracting into as much of our core as possible on the breath out. So arms wherever, hands wherever most comfortable for you. You can have left hand over heart, right hand over solar plexus. Sometimes I say just spread your fingers out over your low belly so that when you breathe in, you can feel your hands rising and falling with your breath. But this is like going to be a really slow breath in and a slow breath out. So arms wherever you like to have them. If you like the tactile feedback, then go ahead and place them on your abdomen. And you're going to breathe in really deeply, slowly. So start to fill the lungs up.
So by now you probably have an idea what your endpoint is for your lungs. Then just imagine that, you still have room to inhale, but you got to spill over into the rest of your torso cavity, into your body cavity. So you fill up the two balloons that are your lungs, and then the extra air is spilling out into your torso. So now more of your torso is opening up and expanding. Now, when you breathe out, you're going to press the air out really slowly, still like you're fogging the mirror or blowing out candles. Let it out slowly, and then think about the belly button as the center of the clock, and then all the numbers around the center of the clock are going to come in and down to the center of the clock. So you can start to feel more of your spine imprinting into the mat. You can feel your tailbone tilting upwards, and you're going to squeeze in and down quite tightly through your abs. So you know that feeling when you have a big sneeze and your abs contract big time? You think about that feeling that you're trying to achieve in your abs. You engage your pelvic floor like you're really holding on to your bladder. Like it's getting close and you got to really squeeze and hold. And then try not to squeeze too much into your glutes. Let it happen all in the abdominal area. Squeeze, squeeze. Try and involve as many muscle fibers as you can. And then we're just going to slowly, gently release and let go. So you're going to let everything kind of soften up again. You can feel your spine kind of peeling away from the mat a bit, relaxing. So let's just take a little break here in between. Put the bottoms of your feet together and go back into that lying cobbler. You might even want to just rock from side to side. Let's just do something different here. All right, so let's bend our knees and place our feet back down on the mat. And we're going to go into that cycle again. So you kind of have a memory of how it felt at your endpoint last time. So this time, see if you can intensify it a little bit more. So nice deep breath in, open up in as many directions as you can here. Go slow and be very thorough. So you're going to fill up each lung, and then you still have room to inhale. So it's going to spill over. It's going to spill out into the rest of your body cavity. So you're still feeling this expansion happening in your torso. Maybe still breathing in. And then when you're ready to breathe out, you're going to let it out really slowly with control. And you're going to think about that feeling that you had last time. Your abs were on in a big way. Remember that feeling when you have a really big sneeze or cough, and when you're holding onto your bladder. So you're tilting your tailbone up, trying to get more of your spine imprinting into the mat so that you can really squeeze in and down into your ab muscles. So those numbers coming in and down to the center of the clock. Squeeze, compress more. If your hands are on your belly, you can feel those muscles underneath your hands contracting. Feels pretty solid. Get into more of your transverse abs, your pelvic floor. Press more of your back into the mat. Press that last bit of air out. Maybe even a little bit of shaking and trembling going on. And then start to just release. So let everything kind of come back into neutral position. Feel everything kind of soften up again. You can feel that softness coming back into your abdomen. And then come back into your lying cobbler. Just let your knees rock from side to side. Roll across your glutes. Just doing something different, resetting. Relaxing, breathing. Good, and let's just do one more. So we're gonna go quicker this time. And you're gonna inhale and really think about quickly blowing up the balloons. So big breath in. And then press, squeeze, press, squeeze, press, squeeze. See if you can peel your head and shoulders up this time. Look at your thighs. Really get into your abs, squeeze into your pelvic floor, get those transverse abs and let the head and shoulders down, let the legs down, shake it out, getting ready for your Shavasana, arms out to the side body. So coming back into corpse pose, into the same position that we started in, we're going to finish in. So if you need to put layers back on, go right ahead. If you want to cover your eyes and just block out the light from around you, go right ahead. I'll tell you when to come back. So just going into that zone, draw your gaze inward, maybe towards your third eye, that space between your eyebrows and the center of your forehead. And then just breathe comfortably. Start to scan your body for any areas that might still be holding on to tension and tightness, and do your best to release it and let it go. So with each breath in, you can think to yourself, I am calm. And with each breath out, you can think to yourself, I am relaxed. I am calm. I am relaxed. All the muscles in your body are softening and relaxing. Breathing is comfortable, rhythmic, fluid. All the joints in your body are softening and relaxing. All the tendons and the ligaments in your body are softening and relaxing. Feeling like you could float above your mat. So let's bring our awareness back to our spaces. Start by wiggling your toes and your fingers gently, softly. Let your head move from one side to the other. Open your eyes. Bend your knees and place your feet on the mat. Let the knees come down to one side, upper body follows, and help yourself up into seated position. So as we breathe in, let's float those arms and hands up towards the ceiling, palms together at the top. And as you exhale, bring those hands down to your heart center. Connect your hands to your heart. Namaste. Thank you.